works.
There we go.
Okay.
We're live.
Hey, everybody. This is Daniel, founder of the Michigan Area Paranormal Investigative Team, YouTuber over at My Haunted Diary Communion, and paranormal investigator for like 15, 16 years. I lose track. I'm getting too old to keep up. And we hope everybody's going to join us tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about some things tonight, mainly our friend the Sasquatch. So we're going to kind of introduce everybody here. So this young lady,
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
tell them a little bit about yourself, maybe.
I am an investigator on the MAPIT team, and I help Daniel with his YouTube channel. I've been on the team for, six years?
Don't ask me numbers.
Amount of years. So we're excited to be discussing Bigfoot.
Yay.
Who's next? How about you up in the corner, young lady?
Are you talking to Deb?
No, I'm talking to you.
Okay. Beth and Barry, team members of Michigan Area Paranormal Investigative Team out of Traverse City, Michigan. We are sensitives on the team, but we also, Barry's big into experiments. Say hi, Barry.
Hi, Barry.
And that's pretty much it. Team members, and we're just lovely people.
And conceited.
A little bit.
All right. And who else do we have there?
Hi, this is RJ and my wife Deb. My wife Deb is a medium, and I'm a numerologist. But we also own Mystical Awakenings store in Houghton Lake. We put on the Michigan UFO Contact Convention. We've been with MAPIT, probably
5 years?
maybe 4 or 5 years.
Who knows?
Very happy to be with them because this paranormal team. How long ago did you start MAPIT, Daniel?
Oh man, somebody count for me. It was 2006.
It'll be 16 years this year.
16 years.
Yeah, so we're just very happy to be a part of it. I know as a lot of teams, members come, members go. But right now, this is us. Plus, we have a couple other members that are not with us tonight, Mr. Paul. But what I like about this group is that we just don't strictly stick to ghosts.
Right.
We also check out the UFOs and UAPs. We also check out Sasquatch, which we've been doing recently. We've had a few expeditions, and we're very excited about the last one we did, which you'll probably see in a few weeks here. Just happy to be with this team. We're all married couples. We're all beautiful friends.
Cool. Yeah.
And I know Daniel and Barry and Paul are like tech guys. I'm not a tech guy, but I'm really considered the alien in the group. But but then we have all these sensitive people with us. They're sensitives and
it's a good mix. Yeah.
Good mix.
Yeah.
And so we all bring something to the table, and it's really cool.
Right. And like RJ said, it's like I think that's one of the best things about our team is that we don't just strictly stick to ghosts. We're very open to all kinds of phenomena, and in fact, more than open, we invite such things. So, anybody that's out there that wants to contact us with that stuff, that's how we kind of got our lead on some of our Bigfoot hunts and stuff. So, and we've been doing UFO stuff for a while. We've been the Bigfoot stuff is pretty new for us. But just having gone out a couple times now, it's like we're getting a little bit of a feel for it. We did have some interesting stuff happen. So, very, very interesting. In fact, I've been spending my last little while here looking at a lot of Bigfoot sightings in Michigan in our area and stuff. So, but I think we kind of wanted to focus a little bit tonight on we've all been watching Expedition Bigfoot, which if anyone hasn't seen it, I think we all probably think like it's a really good show just because they do approach things from a lot of different angles. And for me, again, I think that's what makes it good is not only are they pursuing the scientific angle of it, but they do look at other possible, more metaphysical possibilities for Bigfoot and such too. And they just wrapped up their third season, and so we kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that tonight and what we thought, and having seen the results and stuff, and what we feel they came up with.
And they
Yeah.
are on the Travel Channel, correct? In case anybody's wondering where to watch that.
La 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 la.
Is it the History Channel?
I watch it on Discovery Plus. So
I thought it was the
Yeah,
history
so do
too.
okay, so that would be Travel Channel, would be Discovery Plus. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
because I thought it
Yeah.
was history. I almost wrote that in the description, and then he
Right,
Googled it,
right.
and it said travel.
The History Channel has the
Skinwalker Ranch.
Skinwalker Ranch. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
Those
yeah.
are the only two shows I watch.
Yeah.
We should do a show on Skinwalker sometime.
We should.
Yeah.
We can't talk about this week's episode because I haven't seen it yet. So.
I would just like to say that show, I mean, up till then, I mean, I've watched a lot of shows on it, and there's been some good shows and documentaries, but, I really, this show has you on the edge of your seat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And I like you said, Dan, I like the way they incorporate all different things, and
Yeah.
and it's opened my eyes to the fact that there is a lot of paranormal stuff going on.
Yeah.
Right.
Can't
Sure.
be explained, and the lights and I don't know. There's so many things to talk about in the show.
Right. Right.
It's,
Shadows.
yeah.
Well,
shadows.
let's start with. Are we just going to go over season 3?
I think fair game for any of it. If anybody thinks anything's cool with it, I mean, why not bring it up? I think we've all pretty much seen it. I may not remember everything, but
Well, they had to leave Kentucky because of the wildfires, correct?
so
Oh no, that was Oregon.
Yeah, it was Oregon. Yeah.
right.
And Kentucky was interesting. That was a
Yeah.
season back. And I do want to say this to the team, though. We got to go to Kentucky.
Yeah.
We have to go around Bardstown because that's where Crystal is. That's where the Goat Bridge is. That's where Bigfoot is. That would be an easy trip for us to do and go
Right.
do and
I
hit a
wanna see the
lot of
caves,
different
too.
things.
Yeah, I think Kentucky. I'm pretty sure Kentucky is where they had someone come in and I don't remember the name of the equipment they used, but they literally saw primates.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, how many primates are running around Kentucky?
Right.
Yeah, we'll get into that in season 3 too, right?
For
Where
sure. Yeah.
yeah, at the very end.
Yeah.
So what were your guys' feelings about season 3?
I really enjoyed it. I feel like if we didn't see a Bigfoot on there, I'd be pretty surprised. I feel that I saw a Bigfoot, possibly more than once on there, with some of the thermals and stuff. I do feel that they captured some legit evidence. If anybody hasn't seen the show, the cast kind of consists of, and I'm not going to probably remember all their names. You've got Maria, Russ. Maria's a primatologist. Russ is kind of a outdoors survivalist kind of guy. Yep, with military background, very good at tracking and stuff. I'm gonna have a
Bryce
tough
is
time.
more of like a tech.
Bryce is kind of their tech guy, kind of their behind the sscenes guy, kind of leading them. And then Ronnie is kind of more like us. Ronnie falls into our territory where he's kind of open to a lot of different things. But and then the cameraman Zach, who follows Russ around.
I love him. Don't you love him?
Zach is one of my favorites. It's like when he finally gets on the camera towards the end of the season. It's like some of my favorite parts are when he's involved. So that's pretty cool. And I think it's neat that they just like the cameraman kind of grew right into the episodes and stuff and kind of really became a part of it. So
I thought they were kind of going to go with the Blair Witch thing there when
yeah.
Oh, when he fell down
when he took off.
But again, now you've got that team, and it's like, and again, now you're coming at it from the area of a scientist who studies primates and stuff, and you've got a guy that's very metaphysical like us. You've got a guy that's kind of more of a tracker, survivalist kind of guy, and that all comes together. And I think that's kind of what makes the show. I think that variety is kind of what makes it really interesting.
Well-rounded. Yeah.
You said you thought you saw a Bigfoot on the show. Yeah, I mean, the time that Russ had that camera on what he thought was a bear.
Yes. Yeah.
Just stood up and walked away.
And it stood up. Yep. Yep.
I mean,
that was the most impressive to me.
A bear does not stand up like
right.
that.
No.
And they don't walk like that.
No,
I've watched it 100 times, and it's like, and I feel like there's a point when it is standing up, and I'm like, well, maybe that could be a bear. But then when you see it stride, when you see it walk, it's like, no, that can't be a bear. That's something different.
The skeptic in me said, okay, it was a human. They knew that those people were up there, that they were filming.
Right.
Oh, come on. The mountain was huge. How would you know where to be?
Yeah, you wouldn't know where. Right.
No.
Oh, he was a couple miles away.
That was a very long distance shot.
Yeah.
I mean,
why are they so blurry?
Try to fit, it doesn't fit.
Right.
No, plus
I think it's damn lucky that he spotted it.
Yeah. And Maria, when she was Maria, I should say Maria, when she was seeing those lights in the
those were weird.
Something peeked out from the tree. And it was definitely on 2 feet. And
yes,
what's out there? And when she flashed that flashlight, it was so thick.
Yeah.
So
right. But that was also the same evening that Ronnie did his meditation, and he was connecting. So what do we do as a team when we want to connect? We do a meditation usually to that collective consciousness.
Now, was the remote viewing before that or after that?
After, I think.
It was after.
Yeah.
Was that remarkable how much he got?
Yeah. That was very, very cool. Yeah.
And we would like to try that. We do a lot of remote viewing work when we put on classes, and it's amazing when you start, we do group classes and you get people together as a group, and we'll, like RJ will pick a location and put it in an envelope and tell the whole group, okay, focus on this envelope. And
we get some really
blows
remarkable
us away how everybody will kind of pick up the same things.
Right.
So I'd love to try that as a group.
That would be very cool to try.
We actually send Barry to the location and then see how many people can get to see what he's seeing.
Yeah.
So same thing, only yours is easier.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, another thing is, you guys, it's got me kind of thinking about the show. You remember they found the wolf hair, right?
Yes.
Yes.
A very wolf you only find in Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now that whole government land set aside over there,
which is just weird.
Well, I was wondering maybe they're the government knows.
Experimenting.
The government knows about this. Maybe they have endangered species in there. It's like a sanctuary,
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point, because I was really puzzled about that.
Yeah.
I wasn't buying the cape thing. I wasn't buying that.
I had a few theories on that the winds blowing could have carried that also, but or even possibly an eagle traveling or something. Right. But here's the thing, thinking about that, if you remember that tracker when he hung that, it was like 6 foot off the ground.
Yeah.
I still want to know how it got wolf hair on it.
Yeah.
How did that, and the tracker was moved and stuff, and then it picked that wolf hair up. There's still a lot of questions there.
Wait a minute. Didn't the tracker have actually human hair?
Yeah, the
And the
tracker
wolf-
had human
The
hair.
wolf hair was in the bed.
It was on the fence. And
Okay,
it
yes,
was on that
you're right.
fence. Yeah. So,
But still, yeah, it was up high.
and they got orangutan. They got orangutan sample, a little bit in there,
Right.
Yeah,
in which they said Giganticus, whatever that Pithecus.
Right.
yeah, Gigantopithecus. Yeah,
So I'm going to go out on a limb here because I got this before I watched this show.
Mhm.
I think, the possibility that there could have been a lot of UFO groups doing some DNA work down here, mixing things.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly they mixed an ape and a human at the time, which could
Right.
have been Neanderthal. I don't know. And maybe they're still alive, and there's just they watch over them. They're still roaming.
Right,
Uh,
right.
Because they when people see them, yeah, they're hairy, but when they see their faces, it's more human.
And you could even take that a lot deeper if that was a rabbit hole to go down, because and to me one of the most perplexing thing is that it does border right up to this protected land from the US government. Well, who's to say that that is not a preserve, and that the US government, are they in contact with aliens? I mean, that would go right along with it. Have they made a sanctuary for whatever that? I mean, there's a million possibilities, but
Right.
I really feel like that area is there by design. I feel that area is a sanctuary for them, and obviously they're not contained. They must be able to roam out of it. So what's the end game there? What are we looking for? Are we watching them? Do they know we're watching them?
Or is
You
the
know.
government possibly doing some type of experimentation with
And
humans
there's that too.
and doing
Yeah.
some cross DNA?
Yeah, I was gonna.
Breeding programs.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how do we know that Sasquatch doesn't have some human DNA?
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not alone on that. I thought I was crazy.
No, I
I think
You're
that-
crazy, but that's not this time. That's not
That's
it.
beside the point.
No,
I think Russell brought that up. One of them did, either Russell or Ronnie. That
yeah.
it could be that, they're part primate, but they are part human.
Right.
So maybe that's why we're getting some human DNA. And
And
Yeah.
if you go back and look at drawings of Homo sapiens,
Mm-hmm.
and Neanderthals and things like that, they're always depicted as having much more bodily hair than we
Right.
do today or whatever. So is that just part of the evolution there?
Yeah.
Yeah. We've evolved to not need that
Right.
much hair.
And for how many years? I think probably for hundreds of years, people have searched for the mythical missing link, the thing that is between us and our ape ancestors. And so, again, that could fall right into that spot. I feel that if he's out there, I feel like he's related to us. I don't think he's totally just like a creature. I feel like he's us but different.
He's got that thumb going on. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and I read I can't remember where I read it, but because I read so much stuff, that they were kept around in case something happened to the Earth, that they would have a DNA they could restart the population from.
yeah.
That was a theory that somebody threw out. So
So one
Yeah,
of
but
the coolest part I thought was Jane Goodall.
Yeah.
I love her. I have always been a huge fan of Jane. Goodall.
Yeah.
And
Ever since I was a little kid.
she gave us all kinds of options why
Did.
the question marks that people ask.
Yes.
And I mean, who can we respect more than that? I
Right.
mean,
And
Exactly.
yeah.
I think Maria took that to heart too. Like
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
she was kind of talking to her and saying, "You got to
Yeah.
keep all your possibilities open."
Yeah.
I
I think one of my favorite things about the show is I really like when I see Maria not be able to comprehend what has happened. You know what I mean? Because you can see she doesn't hide it. If there's something she does not understand, like the shadow they saw, that still bugs her. I mean, you can see when she's talking about it, it bugs her because she cannot explain what she saw with her own eyes based on her, science and stuff, and I said, Ronnie's just like, oh yeah, it's always, it's like lights,
Right.
UFOs,
Yeah.
all of it, it's like boom, boom, boom. But for her,
I
to
love
have
that aspect of the show that they have, that's, the scientific point of it.
Yeah, yep.
It makes us think a lot more too, I believe.
Right.
Makes
Yes.
me really, it just makes the show that much better.
And bless her heart, sometimes she is puzzled, and sometimes you can actually hear her eyes rolling.
You
You guys remember her first paranormal experience on the show in the season 1 that she couldn't explain?
Which one was that?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Can
Did
you
you-
say it again?
Do you remember her first paranormal experience that she couldn't explain in the first season? Anyway, they were in Washington, I believe, or was it Oregon?
Mhm.
First, anyway, they came up on that cemetery with those little kids, and at night she heard the little kids
Right.
Yeah.
playing, crying, or
Crying,
something.
yes. And
Yeah.
giggling.
I do remember
Giggling.
that.
Well, she
yeah.
actually had that. She heard them.
Yeah.
Right.
That shook her up.
Yes. Yeah. It's rough. I mean, to have your beliefs shaken so much and to, be that scientific person,
Right.
and now all of a sudden you're experiencing something that your science doesn't explain. That's not easy. I mean, it's not.
No.
We've kind of all adapted to that because we just know weird shit happens all the time.
Right.
You just have to be looking for it, and you start to see it more and more. But to live that life as a scientist, and and to have that knowledge, and then all of a sudden something contradicts what you know to be real, that's hard probably to handle. So
Right.
Well, I have to say, on a personal level, the crystal mine that we went to, and UFO stuff was happening, and Bigfoot stuff was happening, and I hadn't connected all that, and the balls of light were happening, and they're new at knowing any of this stuff. So to me, they couldn't have been so. Not that they would have ever made it up. I don't mean that. But if you're going to look at it in a skeptic's eye, they didn't even know that those things people were connecting.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for the crystals to be there, the balls of light, the weird magnetism, Bigfoot all of a sudden appearing. Wow. It really makes you think, is it all connected?
Yes.
It's all connected.
Absolutely. And I think that's why, as a team, we don't stick with ghost hunting.
Right.
It's not all about ghost. It's all connected. All of this is paranormal. It's what we don't understand.
Right.
But the beauty of it is, I've been in paranormal, about 30-some years. I'm not going to say how many, but too many. To see how it's evolved, with the paranormal and the spiritual field and even science coming together more and more and more all the time. This is a really exciting time to be doing this type of work.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that band is narrowing between, what we do and the scientific field, and I feel like that is narrowing down. And I'm not so sure that if we suddenly did find Bigfoot, or we suddenly did find alien contact, I'm not so sure that it wouldn't explain a lot to us about what's going on with ghosts.
Right.
I feel like the connection could lead us down a path to learn a lot about these different things that are going on around us, So for sure.
I want to tell our listeners too that if you have a question, please put it in the chat, and we will try to address it. We're not going to say we can answer it, but we can address it.
Well, we can answer it. It might not be right.
True. Yeah. So, what did you guys think about the bedding? I was frustrated that they didn't take all that bedding to have it analyzed or look through it.
Right.
I know they could only carry so much, but come on.
Yeah.
There's got to be hair in there. There's got to be.
Yeah, you have to remember though too. We only see what
we
they put on TV. How
much?
We don't know. But
we don't know if they.
I said the same thing. I was surprised that they didn't take more DNA samples from the bedding and stuff, and do a more thorough search for hair and things like that. but like I said, we don't know what was edited out or not either.
Right.
They,
Yeah.
you
And
know,
they may, you know,
cut that down to an
since they
hour
were-
show.
yeah, as they were still exploring that area too, they may not have wanted to disturb those possibly
Yeah.
just because of that. But that still would have been, I would have been going back later, like with the magnifying glass and looking for stuff there. And
I would have
and
scooped it
whatever.
all out, bro.
know,
Well,
Hey,
yeah.
let's go through it.
They kept the cameras there for a couple weeks
Yeah, yeah,
on that area,
Yeah,
so
like
they wanted them to
17
come
days.
back. Yeah,
yeah.
Especially if you know how to turn them on, right, RJ?
that's right.
The crazy thing is, and I'm going to tell you, Barry, I've seen it many times in Expedition Bigfoot. They set out those cameras
Yeah.
and they make sure they're working, and there's nothing.
Yep.
Yeah,
Or they're
We've
turned
seen
off,
it. We've seen
or
it
they're
on the
thrown in the
show.
water.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Yeah,
I can tell you for a fact that the one I sat in the back behind us, her and I walked by it and it went off.
it was
I-
flashing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
I-
literally
Yeah.
working.
I don't know what happened. So, like I said,
But-
I did realize. I mean, she couldn't get the card to give, to transfer to the map to the
Right.
page. But anyway, as far as the distance on it and the clarity, it was wonderful. I mean,
Yeah.
you could
Oh,
see all the
good.
way down that road.
Yeah.
And now I don't know how close something has to be for it to go off, but the deer was very close, and the deer was
Yeah.
actually looking at the light
Yeah, it was looking right at it.
at 3
Yeah.
in the morning. But and I've got them on my table, and the better when I walk by, they go off, all of them.
Uh-huh.
So I
Yeah.
can't explain it. I I did check them, but
The one we put out together, I can guarantee you, was working.
yeah,
Yeah.
Was working, but that was also the location that we got the reply from.
Right,
The
right.
location that I know at least Beth and I were very drawn to,
Mm-hmm.
and we got the print down there too.
and we got a print. So
So to our viewers and listeners out there that are, we are now talking about our own investigation that we just did a couple weeks
In
ago,
Harrison,
2 weeks ago
Michigan.
coming up. And yeah, we found some very cool stuff. We didn't get a sighting, but we found a lot of footprints. Unfortunately, the cast did not turn out very well, RJ, and I think we had too much debris in the bottom there. So that's I guess a learning curve on us or whatever. And
Yeah, yeah.
So are
I-
the cameras.
I do realize also that we're, when we cast like that, we are going to have to
Have more.
cast a lot thicker or whatever.
Yeah.
But and probably a thin or two, so that it'll bring out more detail and stuff when we first put it down.
Okay.
The same with the cameras we're learning, but we did get while we were out there, we got a knock, and we got a howl
back from Daniel's
from
house.
Daniel's house, a response, and also we heard a couple deep breaths, like whoosh, or whatever.
Yeah.
So, we had a really good time we were only out there really a short amount of time, but we like I said, we're new at this, and
That's why we watch these shows, right?
yeah, very thankful for these shows, especially this one here that we're discussing tonight, because
Yeah, they really teach us a lot, don't they?
it's really teaching us a lot on what to do and how to react, and,
Right.
and not just go scatterbrain if you do hear something and mess up an area, by going crazy and destroying evidence or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And
So, is there any critiques? I've read on some of the pages, on the Bigfoot pages, that people don't like the dramatic music.
Yeah. The people on the
Anybody feel that
pages,
way?
people on the pages don't like anything.
Oh, I know. I know.
I get so tired of it. It's like, why are you on a page like this if you are just going to instantly dismiss everything? Everything. It's so very frustrating to me.
I don't
but
think the music bothers me, but if they put a fake noise in, that
Yeah.
bothers me. Like, they put a clap in or something
Yeah.
when we're trying to listen.
I don't even notice the music, to tell you the truth. I
don't
pay
notice it
any
either,
attention
and I
to
think
it.
it would be weird without it, kind of.
Yeah. Usually when something real starts happening, they'll usually quiet it down. That's been kind of tradition for everything. I mean, you hear that on ghost hunters. I mean, it's probably just as annoying to those people if they were watching an episode of Ghost Hunters, and they have music all the time. So I don't know. Without the music, it takes away a little bit from the drama. I mean, honestly, I play on YouTube right now. That is one thing that I'm going to work on adding for my episode next Monday. Is I want some background music in there in a couple spots. You want to be able to build the suspense because that's the entertainment part of it, and there has to be an entertainment part, or else they wouldn't be on the air.
Nobody's gonna watch it. Yeah.
Right.
RJ,
Right.
RJ, were you saying something?
I was just saying that I don't see anything wrong with that. You know, I mean, just the music's great. I mean, I like music. So
Yeah.
And you put music on your YouTube channels, and that's great.
Right.
And,
I think one of the things that bothers me, and it's just a little idiosyncrasy or whatever, and it's not the show's fault at all. It's when we watch it, you know, it's already been pre-recorded, so we don't watch it live usually or whatever. So we don't see the commercials. Okay, so and always when it comes back from commercial, they always go back like we're stupid and we forgot, you know. So they'll go back.
Yeah.
And I
like 3 minutes or something.
You know, I don't like I say that's nothing against the show because they have no say so in that. I guess
It's producers.
it's whatever the streaming is on it or whatever. But I think if you're just going to break and then come right back to it within a matter of 2 seconds or whatever, they should cut that out probably and just go directly into it or whatever. I hate that it goes back. It just, you know, it's like, and you can always tell when it's going to come to a commercial break.
Oh, yeah, you know,
They lead
you know
up
when
to
it's
it.
coming.
With the da-da-da-da, exactly. And then it's like commercial break and whatever, and then come back, and then, well, okay, now we got to go back 30 seconds and bring it all back up to this. And like I say, that's nothing to do with the show itself.
Right.
You know, no reflection on the show. That's the editing of the
but
network.
you know, that's kind of become, and I guess I'm not really catching the word that's in my head for it, but that's become the norm for paranormal shows. And I mean, so it goes back way before that show, because it's very frustrating too. Like, you know, I'll be watching, because I do watch quite a few different ghost shows, and it's the same way on all of those. And it has been for a long time. Somewhere, somebody, I think, decided that was the normal way to do it. And so now we're kind of stuck with it. You know, it's like,
I think it's just filler. They just want to pad it
well,
out.
it could be filler, I guess. Yeah.
Make it
I mean, if you
longer
think
thing.
back, my grandparents were big into soap operas, Dynamite and General Hospital. And I remember my grandmother sitting there getting so frustrated because of the commercials. She'd say, you know, you can always tell when they're going to take a commercial break.
Yeah.
Or, you know, and then it come back. And
have to read.
I don't know that they would spend as long on it, but it was almost like they'd redo it.
Yeah, I don't believe.
Yeah, if they could just do 30 seconds or something.
Yeah. I'm sure that somebody in production thinks that adds drama or something too. You know,
probably just adds time to the show or whatever. I mean,
or it adds the effects and stuff. So,
I mean, you know, not to date us or whatever, but you know, when we were kids and you had a 30-minute program, it usually was about 26 minutes of programming and 4 minutes of commercials. Today, out of a 30-minute program, you're lucky to get an 18-minute program out.
That's about the normal 18 to 20 minutes.
You know, not have the rest of it all commercial time or whatever. So
that's what pays for the show, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. So thumbs up, I want to say, though, to going out on horses.
Yeah.
To going out on electric bikes. Hello.
Trying different stuff. Yeah.
But the animal lover in me, and the animal in me. I was so upset over those horses getting spooked.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I think
Those
that.
You thought they were going to be spooked or what?
Well, they were spooked.
Yeah.
I think that was definitely, you know, a perfect way to go. Like they said, because Bigfoot is going to see that, you know,
like a deer. Or...
Like, you know, if you've ever been hunting on horses or whatever, deer or whatever, they don't see that. They see the legs walking or whatever. They don't see the figure on top of the horse or whatever. So they see that as something natural or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's how Patty was found, right? Patty was
Right.
found when they were
Yes.
on horses.
Yeah.
They're on
Yep.
horse. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I highly, I think that was one of the greatest things they could have done, and I was real impressed with that.
But electric bikes works if we're worried about the animals.
Yeah, the electric bikes were cool, man. They were silent.
Yeah, that was neat. Yeah.
So let's Beth brought up. Let's talk about Patty and what the findings on her.
Yes.
What did you think about
Her size.
the size that they came back with?
That angered a lot of people.
And I don't know why. I don't know why, because 6 foot, what, 3?
Yeah,
I mean,
6'3" for a
could have been
female.
It could have been
Women
a
in the
teenager.
human
It
species
could have been
are
young.
smaller.
Yeah.
Teenager, yeah, it hasn't fully
Yeah.
grown. And or it could have been a small female. Well, it's a female,
Right.
of course, but
Right.
it was just smaller. And
And I'm sure there's got to be some leeway for error there, a few inches this way or that. I'm sure, but still, is this 6'3" hairy female
I
creature
wouldn't
is a
miss her
little
eye.
bit intimidating. So
yeah, it doesn't discredit it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I will say from trying to be skeptical or whatever, and it does make it more plausible that it could have been somebody with a 6 foot frame with a costume on. Okay.
yeah,
But if you look at the stride and stuff, no,
yeah,
there's no way that a human could have in that type of costume. And as they said, when they broke it down and stuff, and you see
Yeah.
the hair actually moving and stuff,
right,
And the
know,
right.
muscles on
yeah,
that.
and
the
the
muscles, yeah.
muscles and stuff,
Yeah.
the tone,
Yeah.
And they
no,
did,
the costume won't do that.
Yeah,
So-
the makeup guy really convinced me.
Yeah,
So we didn't
and
have
and
all
that's
we
the
had
thing,
was
yeah.
like rug hair back
Right.
then. We
Yeah.
didn't have
That technology to make
stretchable
it kind
fur hair.
yeah.
So
I-
hello.
I've seen a lot of comparisons for big screen movies in the same time frame where they put the costumes out there that they wore for these movies and stuff, and it's so inferior. Like you look at it now and you just would get a laugh out of it. You can
Bogey
not
Creek.
design, you cannot design a costume that you can see that muscle on. To me, I feel like I can even see the breasts moving. Like they have a weight to them. They're not just costumes.
Right.
Like there's a weight to those as they shift and move. That is a real breast, the way it would act as someone walks. So,
And humans are different sizes.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
aren't they,
Yeah.
Stephanie?
Very much so.
Now, if it was female,
I'm almost 6'3".
I mean, at 6'3", a female, that's a tall female.
Yeah.
It is. Yes.
So
Okay, so let's talk about the technology. But since we segued in from the horses to the electric bikes, and now we're going to talk about the drones.
Why don't they have cat balls out there? Those little light up cat balls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
why don't they have the big?
No, I'm just kidding.
We do.
We use cat balls, so damn it, they should be using cat
Right.
balls.
And
Anyway.
glow sticks on a big ball.
Yeah, yeah. glow
What
sticks
are
on
your
a-
thoughts on equipment though, like the infrared stuff and the drones and
going back to what she was saying, I think it was in Kentucky. I can't remember the name of the radar, but when that guy picked up several objects were
The LiDAR.
LiDAR. It was LiDAR,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
And he said they were all primate signals, and there was probably 30 of them.
Yeah, there was. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I don't know what that. I don't know enough about that, so I don't know for sure. I also don't know a ton, and I've read a lot of discrepancies about the eDNA thing. That's a very new science, and so I can see why people dispute it a little bit, but at the same time, I would think like if you're picking up a primate result, or in this case like an orangutan result, that's. I mean, I'm assuming they kind of know what they're doing, with the eDNA, but I feel like that's still in its kind of infancy.
because I don't understand that at
Yeah.
all.
So
It's-
while we're talking about this or whatever, I'm going to cross over and we're going to with Skinwalker Ranch or whatever, talking
Mhm.
about the hertz or whatever. I would really like to know what the megahertz are on the Bigfoot calls that they get or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
compared to
yeah,
other voice signals and stuff.
right,
I think
right.
they got into that a little bit. It was like 20 and below, wasn't it, Daniel? It was
Usually most of what they talk about is in the infrasound region, which would be, I want to say, what is that, 20 or 19 and below that or something, somewhere in there. Yeah, I don't remember the exact number, but yes.
Which can be damaging, right?
So yes, if you're subjected to infrasound at those low levels, it can actually be damaging to a person. Generally 20 hertz, it says here and below. So
do we need to, Deb, when we're possibly using our singing bowls and stuff, go with a lower frequency?
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
I'm already thinking, okay, I need to look into the lower frequency for a singing bowl, and only use it, short bursts for
I had a tiny brain idea pop into my head today because Stephanie and I really like the band High Lung, and they released a new song today. And as I was listening to the song today, I realized I've got my portal spirit box, and I was sitting thinking, I'm like, what if we put some of this music through that portal spirit box out there? What if we were to take even like maybe a recording of Deb and the singing bowls and play it back through that portal device, where it's going to put some reverb on it, change it up a little bit, maybe maneuver the frequency a little bit. There's, I think, some possibilities there to try that out in the field.
I like it.
Yeah. So just to try and throw some different sounds out there that might, to me, Beth, I thought, had like a wonderfully amazing idea on our little expedition. She picked up like a bubble blowing thing, and I thought that's the most flippin' brilliant idea that I've seen in forever, because if there's something out in those woods and here's Beth out there blowing bubbles and stuff and
wouldn't you be curious?
Wouldn't that lure you? Wouldn't you be curious about that? I was sitting thinking, I wish we'd have had that on our last few ghost hunts. We should have tried that.
And then Steph came up with, let's put some glow stuff in it.
Yeah.
That's even better.
I mean, it's a crazy idea, but it's an interesting idea because it might get that curiosity, and that's why I'm thinking maybe with the sounds, maybe we do need to experiment. And we didn't get to, because I do have some frequency generators. We haven't gotten a chance to use those really out in the field, but maybe that's what we do need to do, is put some different things out there, sound, visuals and stuff, to try to get that interaction, that would pique their curiosity.
Right.
No.
Right. Okay. So I know we promised this, or Deb did. Who's your favorite person on expedition?
Oh no. Oh no.
Do you want me to start?
Yes.
Sure, go ahead.
Well, I thought it'd be fun. I love all of them. I really do.
Right.
I thought it'd be fun to just give a little bit about every one of them for people that don't know the show, but now are getting curious. So name them in order or whatever, and tell a little bit about that person. So I'm going to start with Bryce.
Mm-hmm.
I really like him. I think he's a great technician. He's really into what he does. He has a super personality. So people come to him and talk to him.
Yeah.
I think he's a little bit nuts for meeting these people.
I think so. Yeah, I would say so. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll meet you. Out of your mind.
Get in my truck. It's like, no, thanks. I'll just stand over here.
Right. So. And then of course, Russell.
Mm-hmm.
Russell's a survivalist. He's got the body of a Hercules, and
that backpack he carries blows my mind. I'm like, how?
He is so brave.
Yeah.
Of course, he has the cool camera dude, Zach.
Zach. Yep.
So. But Russell is, he's very interesting because I love the way his mind works.
Yeah.
Because, like with the bear scene.
Yes.
He's all into, there's a bear.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and you can see the shock on his face. He gets right into it. So that's
the excitement.
Russell. Yeah. And then Maria, scientist, and she's highly intelligent.
Yes.
I really, really like her. I like the way she goes after it and will.
She's very strong. She's a very strong woman. Yeah, and hopefully a good inspiration for young ladies out there everywhere.
Exactly.
she was a cheerleader for the Miami Dolphins
Yeah.
and
That
decided to
blows my
go
mind. I
and
can't
become
imagine. I can't
this.
even, like,
Yeah.
And
wrap
she's got
my
a book.
mind.
Yeah, she's got a book out there about, and I can't remember the name of it right offhand, but it's like from cheerleader to whatever. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like, but here's somebody that started out probably based on their looks and their talents, but then like took that and educated themselves and made
Yep.
themselves into just a real strong, well-rounded person. So
Yeah.
very, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And I do love that she's inspirational for women. I mean,
Yeah.
that's probably my favorite thing about her. She's a strong woman.
She doesn't
And-
take crap if she doesn't want to.
She'll tell those guys.
She just
she'll put them
doesn't
in the
go
group.
along and say, yes, I believe, just because
Right,
people pressure
exactly.
her, because of
Exactly.
pressure.
Yes.
But I have to end with, personally for me, Ronnie is my favorite
Yeah.
because he thinks like we do.
Yeah.
We're more into the whole everything's connected.
Right.
Let's meditate. Let's let them know that we're not there to threaten them. We're there
Yeah.
to learn.
Yeah.
I love that he takes that approach and that he has a respect for Maria and she has a respect for him. They're the perfect team, really, because
Yes.
they're
Yeah.
opposite, but they work really well together.
Yeah.
And I really admire and respect the way he is brave enough to say, I'm going to sit and meditate.
Yeah. And the fact that she accepted that then as it's like, no, that's really cool.
Right.
That's you, and that was cool. Again, how they worked together in tandem, with that. And she went and did her thing and he did his thing.
And they had a ton of
great.
results.
And they had a lot of
Meeting
results.
nights.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that's how we do it as a team, even. We meditate and we connect with that collective consciousness and we open up to whatever wants to communicate.
Right. Well, it's funny, like if you sit and think about that the whole bunch of them, the lot of them, like which one would you be most likely to run into, say, at Waverly Hills on a ghost hunt? Ronnie would be the most likely because I bet you he's gone ghost hunting before. I'd be willing to bet. He's
I believe he's been
Oh,
on
yeah.
Well, he's on Paranormal.
Paranormal Caught on Camera. He's been
That's right. He
Oh,
is
is
on
he?
there. I forget. Yes.
Is he?
Yes. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
with our buddy Brian. So
yeah.
So I let's start out with Maria. I appreciate her intelligence and her, she definitely knows about primates. And but my biggest thrill with her is to see her get a little freaked out about what she can't
I
explain.
agree. Yeah.
And I love to hear her say, "What the," and
she's a real woman. I love it.
yeah, and she's, I tell you what, she can run circles around me. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that she, what she brings to the group is keep it real.
Yeah.
So, and then Russ is nuts. He's just nuts. And I commend him. He's got it. He's not a young man, but he's definitely in shape. But his deal, he's been searching for this thing for a long time. He has great passion for it.
Yeah.
And he's nuts. I mean, he goes right up to them. If they're there, he would shake hands with them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
For sure.
and I feel sorry for Zach because you can tell Zach's going, "Oh my God, do you really want to go there? Can we have to go there? It's pretty scary." So, and he gets in trouble so much, Zach. I mean, he falls in holes and down, and he's always trying to convince Russ, should we really do this? So, and then Ronnie, of course, like you said it, he's like us, and I appreciate that bringing to the show, and he's shown that it works, and like the meditation, and so I appreciate that part of it. And Bryce, I like seeing Bryce get out into the field more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's getting some stuff out there.
Yeah.
And he's got the good job,
Right.
Those down back roads meet people in the middle of the night.
Yeah. So
I'm getting paid for it.
yeah. So it's cool. I mean, it's just to me, they're just a great team, and the things they've shown on there is definitely opened my eyes, and I appreciate what they're doing.
So who's your favorite? Would that be Bryce?
You know,
Can't pick one.
I would say if I had to pick one,
It's really hard.
I would say, I really like Ross because he's out there doing it,
Mhm.
and he's not as open as Ronnie, but
He's kind of like a balance, isn't he?
yeah, he's
Yeah.
He's
he's
balanced.
kind of like he's really
He's a
getting-
realist.
he's finding
Mhm.
some stuff out there that's even that one episode where he was camping under that thing and something came up,
Yeah.
yeah,
That was a good one. Yeah.
I mean he's definitely fearless. You got to give him that.
Right.
I think we should give kudos to all of them for how brave they are.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
They go, I said in the last time we talked that they don't always go towards it. Shit, they showed me wrong. They were like going towards everything.
Yeah,
And they were coming out of the tent in the middle of the night.
Mhm.
It makes me mad a little bit, RJ, when Ross takes off and doesn't tell the cameraman or anything where he's going.
Oh yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's right.
well, the cameraman Zach did it too. I think.
Yeah.
I think Zach came up missing. Russ had to go looking for him.
Yeah.
That's
So what-
frustrating to me.
Yeah. What I wouldn't have done. I mean, they're so brave. That tunnel.
Yeah. The tunnel.
No way. No
Mhm.
way would I have walked down that son of a gun. Now,
I'd have been
I would've,
okay
I
in
would've
the.
fell over the cliff.
Okay, but
Yeah, I'd have been okay in the railroad tunnel, but the
Yeah.
little one off to the side, no, not
the
when there
tunnel,
could be a bear down there or whatever.
Okay.
No.
I would have.
to me, the tunnel though, I probably would have.
Yeah,
But
I know you would
when
have.
Mariah went back to when we're going back to Kentucky, when she went down in those caves,
Oh,
yeah,
and
Oh,
in
my
spots
God.
that
yeah.
that to me was, I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
she's got a big set of brass ones as well.
thank God I was too fat to do that.
Yeah, that was really
that
ballsy.
showed,
Yeah,
I can't imagine. Think of your legs dangling and you can't see what's underneath there.
right.
Come
Yeah.
on.
I'm going to be honest with you. If I turned around and a Bigfoot was right there next to me, I'd probably pass out.
Yeah.
I will say that's probably one thing we should carry on our on our hunts and stuff like that is probably a roll of toilet paper to keep pushing.
No doubt.
RJ and I, we had an encounter when we were out with a porcupine, and I probably very nearly shat. That was pretty frightening when it went down, and it was like that
It
was
was a huge porcupine.
It was huge. It was a huge porcupine. I hope I have him on camera.
Well,
Twice the
Stephanie
size of a
pointed,
porcupine.
Stephanie pointed that out to me. We were sitting there minding our own business.
yeah, my
And
kids.
she
yelled at
goes,
me.
so what would we do if one appeared?
Mhm.
And I really hadn't seriously.
Yeah, I don't think you will know until it actually happens how you're going to react.
Right.
I hope to be a Russell. I hope to just put my hand out and hopefully have an arm back when it comes back. But I don't know.
That's-
Dude,
I
run!
want everybody to say who they liked, but let's take a little break here and say, how upset were you guys to hear that one had been shot and put in the back of a pickup? I mean, I'm assuming they never said they shot him to show that young man that did the interview that they had a juvenile. They said chimpanzee. We say
Yeah.
Bigfoot. How upset were you guys about that?
Very,
They didn't come out and say they killed it.
Right.
Come on, they killed it.
right.
Absolutely insane.
Right.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't hardly breathe.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
you know me. I mean, yeah, it tore me up.
Unfortunately, there are people out there that would kill just about anything, I think, just to, I don't know, prove a point. I'm not even sure how it works, but I don't know. I don't know what to even say about people that would think about like killing something that we, would be so rare or intelligent or, I don't know.
I
So,
would
so
have
that-
trouble even if it was charging me,
yeah.
knowing that it was something that we don't understand.
There's been a lot of cases though. People have had them in their sights and they couldn't shoot them because they're too
Because of it. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Right, and they addressed that in the last episode where they said he was too human-like, and Miranda, I can never say her name right,
Mariah.
said,
Mariah.
no, that's
Mariah.
true
Mariah.
with primates too. People can't
Yeah.
seem to bring themselves to shoot
Right.
because they're too human-like.
Well, we're all connected. We're all, we all
Absolutely.
come from the same source. So
Yeah.
now, I
So
think-
you two go.
Daniel
What are your
Stephanie.
favorite? And
Before
who's
we
your
get
favorite?
started, though, I want to say that porcupine did not scare me as much as you did, Daniel. When you saw, I thought you saw a Bigfoot, and I'm like, oh my god!
That was my Bigfoot reaction, just in case. I was
Well, now I
practicing.
know.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, we're walking. I mean, it was right at dusk, and it's interesting because I shoot a lot with my phone, and whereas our eyes are starting to have a hard time to see, the phone still sees pretty well, and so I hope I have that porcupine on there. I haven't got to look yet. But here's RJ and I walking, and about 5 feet in front of us, there is just what looks like a dark shadow on this little 2-track. And all of a sudden I saw it move. And when I saw it move, it looked white because of the little bit of light there was reflecting on the quills. And I thought it was a skunk. I thought RJ and I were done for when that was a skunk. But then he just started shifting and you could hear the quills. And he just started moving towards the woods a little bit and stuff.
I remember
Oh, damn.
you crouched down to about 3 feet tall, or 2.5 feet tall. You're like,
I'm like, what on earth is going on? So
that was
well, we were on edge anyway because we went off on our own and found this little wood clearing site, and that was, I think, for our expedition, my most disappointing moment was the fact that we had all this bare sand and we could not find any tracks there.
Yeah.
But again, that tells me that if there's a Bigfoot there, it's intelligent enough to not leave those easy tracks because somebody would find those tracks out there on that soft sand. So they'd probably avoid that soft sand area like that, because they know that somebody's going to know they're there and it's going to cause them issues. So
right.
yeah, that brings me to Expedition Bigfoot when they were on the horses and they saw the big print by the river. And I said immediately, I see toes at each side.
Mm-hmm.
I said, that's a bear double stepped.
Yeah.
And they called it. They said that's a bear
did.
that double stepped. And then
And it is good to see that. Yeah.
About what they're giving us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps us out, if we
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I like, about the what we found that looked like tracks, because each of those did have, to me, what looked like legit toe impressions. Those were not like a bear print impressions. It's like, I mean, you can see a big toe, small toe. It's like what not on there. So to me, I don't believe those were like bear tracks or double steps. They did not look like that to me.
Yeah, because we found an arch.
Yeah, and there's an arch. Yes,
Found an arch there or whatever. So yeah.
And those are, I think, the important things to look for. You don't want a flat track.
Exactly.
It's like
and that's what I said. We, as a matter of fact, Beth found one in the open field there or whatever, and and once we looked at it, you could tell it was a double step. By bear or whatever. It stepped in the same, in track or whatever. But I so I say I'm real impressed with where we were and what we got. I
definitely was too.
I think there is definitely some things.
I'm looking forward to a return expedition.
Yes.
So I'm going to do a prediction. I think Stephanie's favorite person is Miranda.
You're right. I do.
Because Stephanie is our scientist of our group.
She's so strong, and like you said, it would be so easy for her to just go with the guys and agree with everything they say, and she doesn't. She puts them in their place. If their ideas are getting so big and extravagant, then she brings them right back down, and she's like, no, this is not how we do it. And I really like that about her.
And how do you feel about everybody else?
I like RJ said, it's hard to pick a favorite. you know, I do like them all, and they're all so unique in their own way, and they bring so much. Each one brings something, so you can't take one of them out of there and have the same show. You have to have all four of them, because all four of them bring something so different, but in a way that connects, in a way that works to have a cohesive team and get the things that they're getting.
Right.
It's kind of like us, huh?
Yeah. Very much
I'm
so.
so proud of our team, how we've evolved. It's just so cool.
Yeah.
Daniel,
yes.
who's your favorite?
Well, let me just say, I too like them all, and I like the dynamic. It's so hard, but I do like the fact that, like I said, you know, Russ is very focused. He's kind of like kind of the Captain Ahab looking for his white whale. You know, that's him, and yet he is 100% sure. He knows that thing is out there. I mean, there is no doubt in his mind, and I like that aspect of him. I do love Ronnie because he is very open to a lot of different things, and so I would put him in there. I have to say, I probably favor Maria just because of I too like the fact that she does not give in to the more non-scientific angles, and yet she doesn't shut them down either. I mean, she respects that they have those different views and stuff, but she's not going to have it. She's looking for a distinct, very scientific proof that would prove to the world that, you know, this is 100% legit, you know, whereas I think at the end of the day, Ronnie and Russ might be happy to just walk away having shaken that Bigfoot's hand, whether they got footage or not, you know. They might like that. Now, to me, it's like you got basically, and I think the dynamic has kind of grown over the year, but it's not just 4 people, it's 4.5 people. And I'm going to say Maria is probably my favorite, but I really like Zach the cameraman. And the reason I like Zach the cameraman is because he brings the everyman into the event. He's just like one of us that's trailing along with the guy that's out there doing the stuff. And it's like, but he's got the camera. He's a producer / cameraman. One of my favorite pages to go to is the Expedition Bigfoot fan page, because they all post on there, which is very cool. I saw there was a guy on there and he was just tearing it up. It's like, oh yeah, I heard you guys go to hotel rooms afterwards and spend the night and blah, 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 blah. And Maria jumped on there and she started giving the guy shit. And she's like, Zach. And so Zach gets on there and he's like, and he's telling him, it's like, because they're all like, oh, I see other people in the background when you're out there, da, 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 da. And Zach is like, no, it's like, it's me and it's Russ. He's like, I am the producer, I am the cameraman, I am the sound man. I'm taking care of all of this. It's like, this is all me. There is nobody else out there. We do not go to hotels. We sleep outside. We do this. There's a very small crew. It's a very tight-knit crew. And because they don't want the contamination and they don't want that. And it's like, but I love to see them put the naysayers in their place a little bit and jump on there. So I really like Maria, but I really like Zach too, just to bring kind of a more down-to-earth element to it all, I think. So
The poor guy.
Derek,
You go ahead.
I want you to go.
There you go.
Hands down, I know you guys are going to be surprised. Zach the cameraman is my favorite.
Yeah.
Because exactly what Daniel
Because he
said.
falls down, Beth?
Huh?
Because he falls down?
He falls down. I can relate to that. But he's the real deal. He's the real.
Yeah.
The reaction is real. I'm not saying the other ones aren't, but
Right.
it's raw. It's more raw with him.
You can feel his fear.
Yeah.
Through the
Ronnie,
TV. Yeah.
I'm more on his same wavelength,
Mhm.
except I love you, Ronnie. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to hear everything is Bigfoot. So
Well, yeah.
a little bit there,
Yes.
but I think it's done for I think it's edited. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think he has some doubts, but then they edit it to where he doesn't.
Yeah, it's hard to say, right?
So yeah, I want to see you question it too.
Yeah.
Mariah, I don't think I'm saying her name right.
Maria.
What? Maria, I don't think I love her scientific ways, but sometimes she's too rigid.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But like you guys were saying earlier, it's such a balance that she needs to be, and Ronnie needs to be the way he is, and Mariah needs to be the way she is.
Yeah.
And Russ, the macho-ness, because I'm a feminist, gets to me a little bit, but I think he knows exactly what he's doing. And I don't see any fakeness there, because like when he is surprised, he is surprised.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then who's the tech guy?
Bryce.
Right. Yeah.
Bryce.
I'm glad to see him in season 3 get out in the field more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was not liking that he was just staying in the headquarters all the time.
And that was a really cool thing, I think, with that whole wrap up, was that they did kind of bring them all together in the end, even though they were out doing different things. For the season finale, they kind of were all together, and that was really neat the way they played that, I thought.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Oh, I left
Because
something
really it was Bryce's, it was his vision, right?
So
Wouldn't
Yeah,
you be-
I don't know how, he's kind of the ringleader, but I don't.
Wouldn't you be biting at the bit to get out there and get in there?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think
it would
that's
be tough to
what
just sit there all the time. Yeah.
Hey, Michelle.
I think that might have been what caused him to. Hey y'all, it's perfect. Oh, sorry, we had a comment. Yeah, so I'm just like Deb that you got it. And Barry, the balance. I think that if you took one person out, it would throw the balance off so bad.
I
The
don't
show
think it would
wouldn't
be
be
good.
near as good.
So if we took one of them out and put, say, one of the guys from Mountain Monsters in there, like Wild Bill.
My Lord.
I don't know
We
any
take
of
the
that.
rust out, we put Wild Bill in.
I got my penis caught on the electric fence.
So I would love to see
those guys, though.
I would
will
love
say
to see.
at the very first season, when they had to replace the guy because he was having issues, it bothered me how fast they replaced him.
Yeah.
Not bother anybody else.
Well,
I know they had to go on.
they have a
with
show
production.
to do. They have a show to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, we don't know how long it really took
Right.
in between
Right. You
filming.
know,
One
yeah.
thing I would like to see is more Ryan Sprague.
Yeah.
I loved
Yep.
that they
It was cool that he was on. Yep. That
Ryan's
was cool.
a good friend of ours.
Do you think that's going to happen? Because I feel like that's going to happen.
I would love that to happen. Ryan is so passionate and intelligent, and he's definitely a ufologist. We've had him speak at Michigan UFO Contact, but he's so open, and he will tell you there does seem to be this link between what's in the sky and
Right.
And before we get to Barry and his thoughts, do you guys notice that it seems like there's a government property next to everywhere?
Yeah.
That these algorithms are happening?
Maybe we need to look at that here.
Or helicopters. And
Well, you know what we went through with the Roswell. So,
yeah.
So that, I think it's curious. And like at the end of Expedition Bigfoot, they said on the screen that they couldn't get a hold of the federal land that they couldn't go on to.
Right. They couldn't find anybody.
No answer.
Yeah.
No answer.
Yeah.
That seems odd to me.
It does.
now there was one guy when they left Kentucky that said he was training out there in Oregon, whatever it was, and they told him they're real.
Yeah.
You leave him alone. Remember that?
Yep.
He came on at the gas
I do.
station.
Yeah.
So
The guy from the gas station. Yep.
he said the government knows about it.
Of course they
Yeah.
do. They
I
know
think
So
they'd have to.
Michelle said Ryan is adorable. They are teaching his books at the university.
yes.
That's cool.
And
Very
I
cool.
did read that as
Very
well. And I'm so happy because, you know, it's all to some of these people. This is brand new,
Mm.
you know, younger people. We have a lot of them that say, that's not real. Get back in reality. Well, it is real. You know, anything can be. We live in this great, big, vast universe filled with life.
Right.
Just because our puny little eyes can't see something all the time doesn't mean it's not there. So I'm really happy to see more books like this being in universities.
Yeah.
Bill Kozlowski, our state director for MUFON, is doing a lot more speaking at libraries and
Mhm.
places like that on ufology. So
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
talking about things that are not understood. I mean, for God's sake, it was what 150 years ago that nobody could imagine what electricity was, or telephone, or
yeah,
those kind of things, and just the remote viewing that we saw, and
Yeah.
how accurate he was. And if you
But I
believe
saw-
that radio waves can go through the air, why can't you believe that
Yeah.
brain waves?
I saw so many people knocking that aspect of it on the pages, knocking the UFO aspect, because they really want it to just be a creature. There's a faction that just wants this to be another creature that we haven't discovered. I understand that, but the remote viewing, as much as it's like, you know, as they want to poo-poo it, the CIA has pursued this for how many years, for God's sakes? I mean, it's like they've had programs, they've used it to spy on other countries. It's like, you know, if the CIA is doing it, how can we just say that it's BS?
Right.
If these people in the CIA have tried to use this, so you know, very interesting.
Yeah, no,
mine too.
Beth and Barry, you've been out west and seen the pictographs and the petroglyphs. You saw Bigfoots on there, right?
Yes, absolutely.
There was Bigfoot country everywhere.
Yeah, and
I wanted the team there so bad.
the petrographs all depict, you know,
Bigfoot.
pictures of Bigfoot and aliens. And yeah, it's
Everything.
amazing.
Everything. This isn't new, guys.
No,
This
it's not
isn't
new. No, it was, you know, it was tried. They tried to, you know, squash it out, but now it's being picked back up. And like I said, those are proof that they've been around. To me, so that what you
So
saw.
Barry, who's your favorite?
Barry's going for Bigfoot. That's his favorite.
Yes, absolutely. No, like I said, I have to hands down say that as a group, this hands down is the best of any paranormal, however you want to phrase it, TV show on the air right now, because of the whole team that is there. You know, hands down, it is by far the best with
Balance.
the well balancedness of it. I love, like I say, the way the whole team comes together. I do wish that Ryan would get out into the field more, and as Beth said, we think we're going to see that more. I'm very impressed with Russ's ability to track and things of that nature. I have to say, though, hands down, you know, and Mariah is, you know, just because of her skepticism and the way she approaches things, I am very impressed with that part of it. But like I said, she is probably the top tier, but hands down, the whole team, even with Zach being there. And I do, you know, hope that this gets back to their page or whatever, that I would really like to see the other cameramen involved also besides Zach.
Yeah.
I think they could bring a lot to it.
Yeah, at least on an introductory level, so we at least kind of knew who they were too. Would be neat. Yeah,
and
I
open
agree.
it up a little more.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot there that they can add to, and just make the show that much better.
And it would be like a full disclosure thing, so that you
Exactly.
Yeah, because I would critique that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. I
really agree.
Think we could open it up a lot more.
Because if I was going to critique, it's that they go, "Oh, we're out here alone, or we don't have a light." You have a cameraman with you.
Yeah,
you're saying that. They're
we're
saying
not dumb.
We
We're
don't
not
have
dumb.
a light, but you can see the light shining from the camera on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Just include him like they did with Zach. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. So yeah.
Now you remember Zach saw one.
Exactly.
When
on the
Russ
bridge.
was going across that
he
bridge.
saw it first, and then Russ went down there after it, and that's where they found the cracks or whatever.
Print. Yeah, that beautiful print.
Yes.
Yeah, good print.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
they're an important part of the team.
Exactly, and like we said, we don't know how much that gets edited out, but please show us that. Let us know what the other camera, and let us see them also. Incorporate them into the
say,
program.
hey, there's a cameraman with me, not I'm all alone out
here. Yeah, this is my crew. This is who's with me.
Alone.
So for those of us who go through withdrawal, they should have like 4 more shows when the season is done, showing all of the edited out parts.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
All the blips, all the goofs.
Yeah. I'd like to see the blooper reels.
I'd like to see the blooper reel. I bet that's really good.
Now,
I bet you Zach
because darn well, if I'd been there in that tunnel, I would have fallen over the edge.
Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't even thought, guys. I wouldn't even thought that there's a drop off.
No,
I wouldn't even thought about it. I would have stepped out. I'd have been gone.
And I wouldn't have gone in.
Like I said, I really can't place anybody above the rest. Like I said, I'm impressed with Mariah because of her scientific point of view or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But like I said, as a whole, I just am so impressed with the way the whole team, the whole show meshes together. It is far and above any other paranormal thing that's out there right now. I mean, it's just, I mean, 10 times better than anything else that's on TV at this time.
Skinwalker is maybe number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're raising the bar. They're all raising the bar by using current science and stuff to try and look into this stuff, and I think that's why those shows are a little bit superior. But I mean, that's obviously what other shows are going to have to try to achieve now, if they're going to be interested in this stuff.
I can tell you one episode that blew my mind, you guys. You remember this? Maria was on the edge of the river and had the infrared camera, and there was definitely something large bipedal standing across there in the infrared. Yeah. It had lights above it.
Yes.
Yep.
And then she flashed the flashlight, nothing there.
Yeah.
Flashlight off, infrared back on, it's there. And then that turned into a ball.
Yep.
And kind of went back into the brush. What the hell was that?
Yeah.
So are they interdimensional?
I mean, that
are they
really
alien?
got me thinking.
And I do like also that, and I can't remember. I believe it was Russ, but I can't remember for sure. But they were showing the infrared showing up in the heat or whatever, and then they realized it was a rock that had held the heat. I love that they brought that out and didn't just discard it as that was phenomenal, or whatever.
Right.
That they truly brought it out and said, hey, this is what this was, and we can dismiss this or whatever.
Right.
So I love that they brought that aspect out of it and just didn't just leave it as
we want to see the stuff that they can debunk as well, because we want to be able to do that.
Just like the double bear stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't throw that stuff out, because we need to know that as well, that there are.
That makes me believe more.
Yeah.
So Michelle said that Skinwalker was fun to watch because Travis seemed like a generally nice guy, not too brought and paid for. Michelle, do you realize he's a real rocket scientist
He really is.
from
He's amazing.
NASA? And he was
But
on
he
a show
seems
before
like a
this
cool
called
dude.
Rocket City Rednecks.
Rocket City Rednecks.
And
He
then-
helped develop the suit that people that are can't walk
Paraplegics
can walk
can
now.
walk now. It's
He
a suit
is
of armor.
brilliant.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He's a true scientist.
Astrophysicist. Yep.
Astrophysicist.
Yeah,
yes.
he's no dummy.
Yes, he
That's
is.
for sure.
I think he
So,
should.
yeah,
I think he should come to Michigan and be at the UFO Con next year.
Absolutely.
Just a thought.
said,
Just throwing
she
it
said-
out there.
Yeah, that would be
We're-
great.
You never
We're
know.
trying. Yeah.
I've
she
actually
watched the-
tried to contact Travis.
Uh-huh.
Haven't had a whole lot of luck with
I
it.
No.
can't even,
Yeah.
you know what? I'd be a little intimidated to talk to him because he probably could see my IQ. He'd be like, I can't talk
I
to
don't
her.
know. You know, I hate to say this, but to me, he reminds me of. I hate to say this, somebody that can talk to your level, even though they're much more intelligent. than
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
John
And it
Tenney.
was John Tenney.
Yeah.
You know, because whenever you talk to John, he never tries to talk above what
Right.
you understand.
Right.
You know, and believe me, I love John to death, and I know he is far more intelligent than me, but he never makes me feel
Less than.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Michelle
Yeah.
said, yeah, she could see. She watched the whole Redneck series.
I have a feeling, Beth,
Blow
that
up everything.
if you and Travis ever met face to face, Beth, I'm pretty sure he's just gonna look right into your eyes and be like, "You fall down a lot, don't you?"
You say
You fall
what?
down a lot.
He's gonna say, "You fall down a lot, don't you?"
I'm sure they could use
And
me.
you know what else he'd say? Let's launch a rocket.
Let's launch a rocket.
How's his rockets?
Let's
So-
see how we can use her clumsiness to
Yeah.
in
Launch
this
a rocket.
experience.
I was gonna say now the one thing I feel like Expedition Bigfoot is missing is the opportunity to bring a fine team of ghost hunting individuals out there on an expedition once just to see what
Yes.
we picked up
Yeah.
on. Well, I mean,
We're
any
available.
paranormal team, but no, this one in particular.
We are
This team.
available.
I
And
think
we will
I think
come.
we should be invited.
As long
Yeah.
as you don't see porcupines.
Yeah,
Oh, I
keep
will
the
even-
porcupines
I
to
will
a
even
minimum. So
See, I don't
I
mind.
was
the
gonna
porky.
shake. I was gonna shake its hand. I was going to. So.
I didn't like the 5 ticks on me the next morning.
Yeah.
So here's one thing I want to say about, next season they're going to Alaska.
Mhm.
I'm a little disappointed that they jumped clear to Alaska and didn't hit Manitoba and Canada before.
Yeah.
How
or
about
whatever.
Montana?
They-
I'm
Montana.
sorry,
What about Michigan?
Yeah.
Montana. I think they should have
Yeah.
done Montana. Yeah.
but I mean that they had talked about going from Washington up,
like
and I
proceeding.
would have liked to have seen them before they jumped clear to Alaska. At least
They might though. They
midway
kinda
north or
split.
whatever.
right.
British Columbia.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's just me, but I mean, more power
But
to them.
in their defense, where is there more wilderness?
Right.
I
Right.
don't. Well,
And,
Saskatchewan, all those out in there are very,
Yeah.
very
Well,
wilderness. I
And
would like to
grizzlies
see
and
the
polar
data
bears.
on what it says. Like, I don't know. Is there more sightings in Alaska than there is in Saskatchewan or whatever? Because I totally believe that, I believe in the Northwest there, Saskatchewan and that area is where Bigfoot actually, where
Originated.
the term originated from or whatever. So, but that's just me personally. I would like to see them step up a little bit, in steps or whatever, but, whatever. I hope they find something.
Yeah.
You
I
realize their show too, and they are worried
Right.
about every season.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that they go with that, the algorithm or whatever part
Right,
of it.
right.
Whatever. So I'm hoping that's what they're doing next season too, or
Mhm.
whatever. But I love that they use that part of the data in it and stuff, that they are that scientifically more advanced than most shows out there or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
So explain this in Beth talk. How do they know the algorithm? How do they know that?
I don't think they've really given us that. But you know, I mean,
But
Is
you
it
know,
just sightings?
an
Is it
algorithm
sightings?
is that they go back with all the data, the sightings of
right,
whenever they've been reported throughout, history or whatever, and
right,
what the dates were that they were reported, and they say, hey, at this time, at this month or whatever, more reportings were in, we'll say Oregon, it just
right, right.
as an example or whatever, than there were in Kentucky. Now, as they
Yeah.
said, migratory, so that's why they went to Kentucky, during that filming period, and we don't know when that filming period
Yeah,
was.
we need to know that.
Right,
They
right.
tell us what month were we here or whatever.
Yeah,
when were
yeah.
we here? So that's something that the show should
Right.
elaborate on a little more. We need to know when you were there or whatever. After the fact or whatever. We understand that you don't want to put it out there beforehand
Yeah,
because you don't want a bunch of people
right.
contaminating the area or whatever.
Right.
But afterwards, let us know when you found that or whatever, what that algorithm was or whatever. Or at least put it out there so that, well, maybe after the fact that we can see or whatever,
Yeah,
because we don't, I understand that you don't want people contaminating
yeah,
that scene or whatever. So,
right.
So it'd be kind of like the whole MUFON chart that you go if
Yeah.
you go on MUFON.
Right, right.
It shows you when more of the sightings.
I
are
think
happening.
we could
that's one thing that we should look at on
we
your
could
MUFON
look at something
chart
like
every
that.
year.
Yeah,
And RJ is, you have the sightings or whatever, but maybe there should be a date on there,
right.
at least a time frame of what month it was or whatever.
Yeah,
I
I agree.
that it was cited, and that's kind of what we went back to, RJ, or excuse me, Daniel, about talking about doing the paranormal side of it is we
Mhm.
need to be more scientific about it. Of
Yeah.
setting up as what was the temperature at this sighting, what was the barometric atmosphere,
Barometric pressure and stuff. Yep,
things
yep.
of that nature also.
Right, right.
If we're going to truly be scientific about this, we
Yeah.
need to be more,
We need to start measuring some of that stuff. Yeah, yes.
more precise on it or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to get, I don't know if I sent you that link where they did sightings compared on rainfall. Did I send that to you guys on the map? But anyway, in Michigan, in this area, like from Houghton Lake to Everett up to Traverse City, there was 43, 45 sightings, and
Yeah.
they based it on rainfall. I don't know how
Mhm.
they did that. But then we were also talking about, Daniel, how we were looking at the magnetic anomalies.
Different magnetic anomalies. Yep, yep. And I've got maps with that, and that would be interesting. We should compare that with where we were
Yeah.
for our expedition and learn a little bit more about that area, geologically, atmospherically. That's probably worth looking into before we go back there again and get some feel for that.
And because I call them hotspots, the magnetic, and I know there's some in the UP, and I think there was one up by you guys.
Yeah.
Not too far from you guys that showed up more electromagnetic from the satellites.
Right.
So, and I think that might have, there might be portals there. I don't know.
Yeah. Hard to say. Right.
Something to look into.
I just to play the devil's advocate, because I have to throw this out there. So if they're migratory, this is gonna go along the line of the people that are like, well, why don't we ever find the bodies? Why don't we ever see them crossing the Mackinac Bridge?
Right.
Or a bear. How many deer have been caught?
How many bears do you see, or deer?
I know. I'm just.
I love Jane Goodall. She said, "Maybe they bury," and I wish she would elaborate more. Humans bury, not to hide our bones. We bury because that's our belief system.
Never mind.
Maybe it's Bigfoot's belief system as well. Is
maybe
out of respect we bury.
Okay.
And maybe they're intelligent enough to know that to not leave anything behind. So
we always assume that everything's dumber than we are. That we're the most intelligent.
Yeah.
We're not.
And so here's another thing too. If their bones were made up more of cartilage or whatever, on any type of cartilage, it dissolves much faster
Yeah.
in the earth. So possibly that's why those bones aren't there or whatever.
Right.
Why we're never, because cartilage will dissolve in a matter of months or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, hold your hand up if you've ever found a bear carcass out in the woods.
We have not. And we have quite a few
Have you
bears
ever heard of
around
anybody
Yeah.
who found a
Yeah.
bear
Nope.
carcass out in the woods?
And they're definitely more plentiful than Sasquatch, and yet we don't find them.
Right.
I said the other day, how many people are murdered and missing in the woods? How many people's bodies have you found in the woods?
Yeah.
I've not found any, but it's happening all the time. I see people
It sounds like
finding
a
them out
great
in the woods, but
experiment
I
to
haven't.
me.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll have to
He's got
figure
my
out somebody that we
insurance
can volunteer to leave out in the woods.
Daniel.
How many people? How many bobcats have you found out
Yeah.
there?
Exactly.
Deer are more plentiful, and I have seen deer.
I haven't
But
even seen a
often-
porcupine skeleton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Porcupines
I've seen a
are
few
like
deer.
really plentiful because I was going back and forth to Boyne City, and I saw one up in the tree, and then I saw one down on the road. So they must be like out in force right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's elusive in the first place, and maybe somebody did find one and just didn't say nothing. I don't know, but
Right.
But-
Okay, let's take a survey of the 6 that are here. How many of us believe there is Bigfoot?
I think that's all 6 of us.
Is that all of us?
I think that's unanimous.
Looks
for
like
the
it's unanimous.
here.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Or
yeah,
elk, or Norm says, or elk antlers.
yeah,
There's people that go out and hunt antlers when that time of year is, when they
Mhm.
fall off, whatever they do off their heads,
yeah.
and they have to
I've never,
hunt them.
I've never
So-
found those either. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell, I can't find morel mushrooms. So are they real? I don't even know.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
they
can't
are
find a
real, and
morel
they
mushroom
are
to save my life.
delicious.
You know. Expedition Morel. That's going to be our series next year. Stephanie, copyright this right
We
now.
need to come
Expedition
down here.
Morel.
And we're gonna call it.
Come in our yard.
And we're gonna call it Fun Guys.
Yes,
Fun
fun
guy.
guys looking for shrooms.
Love it.
And not
RJ's
only-
out. He's like,
we're
I'm
not
done
only
with
gonna
this
look for
shit.
those, we're going to look for the ones in the cow patties.
Yeah, yeah. No. But yeah, it's like, like I said, it seems crazy to me because it just doesn't seem like Michigan is big enough to hide something like that. But we've seen traces, we've seen stuff, and it's like, and that was a fairly unpopulated area we were in, but still populated,
Exactly. But in your years, Daniel, how many bobcats have you seen in Michigan?
I've seen one, I believe.
In how many years?
I've probably heard 3 in
Okay, but how
all
many
my
have you
years.
seen?
so one.
Right?
One.
And how many years?
63 years. Yep.
63 years. Okay,
Yep.
so see?
Yep. So I saw elk, but I had to go look for them to find them. It's like I don't see them roaming around either.
Right.
Or wolverines.
Yeah.
I've never seen a wolverine.
No.
We saw one.
Yeah.
But most of
I-
these animals you don't see.
Yeah. Yep.
You just don't. I mean, we have so many bear around the area
Yeah.
where we're at. It's
Oh my God.
unbelievable. But unless you have a trail cam out, you don't see them.
No. So
Exactly.
I have bear come in my yard every year. I still haven't seen one. Even the one in the tree, I heard him go, whoo.
yeah.
And that, well, I guess I did see him for a second. But that's only because I was paying attention.
Right. Right.
So
I saw one bear run across the road up by Tequanima Falls from me. One bear.
yeah.
I'm actually up to 2 or 3 bears, I think now. So maybe, probably 2 or 3 bears I've
Yeah,
seen now. So.
Isn't
I have
that-
to see. I've seen quite a few bear or whatever, but
no carcasses.
I have to. Yeah, no carcasses.
Yeah.
And I like to think I'm a little more in tune to looking for things or whatever.
Right.
I guess. You know, I don't know. I just think that I pick up more on things like that.
Well, credit where credit's due, Barry. You got some good tracking skills. I saw the stuff that you were finding out there and stuff, and I was very impressed. I'm like,
I would have walked right over top of that.
Never would have noticed that. No, never would have noticed it.
That's just the way I was brought up, and maybe that's
you are the Native American of the group.
Yeah, maybe that's the native part of me coming out or whatever. You know, I mean,
that was impressive.
Look at those signs or whatever, and you know, so yeah, I do look. I think I like to feel that I'm a little more aware of those things around me or whatever.
He points out shit to me all the time that I wouldn't see.
But again, too, like I said, you know, when I worked for the phone company, I would have a hawk land on the telephone pole on top of me, and I'd have to point it out to someone and say, "Look, there's a hawk." Yeah. And they said, "Oh, it's right above you," you know. But I mean, you know, it amazes me all the time that, you know, for instance, hawks or an eagle fly over somebody, and they don't look up to see it. They're always looking down or not, you know,
or a phone.
And I think that's just human nature, that we are always looking at one step in front of us and not paying attention to our surroundings or whatever, you know. So, you know, that's unfortunate, but you know,
I have to ask you guys.
I'm sorry.
I have to ask you guys. Now, we all want to do some Bigfoot research in the UP, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You guys
and ghost hunting and
you guys in on that? Maybe in October, going up there for a weekend.
Yeah, I'd
my
be
God,
in for sure. Yeah.
Or should we extend September?
September,
because we're already up there.
August.
I mean August. Or is that too? Is that
no?
too?
It's too. He's got too many people there, during that time. So he wants all this. Well, he's got 30 buildings, so he wants them empty. And,
okay.
Yeah, and
no, that'd be awesome. Think of the
I think it would be good. Yeah. No, I'd be on board for that 100%. So I think that'd be a good trip.
He might let us up on his property too, where he has a cabin that he saw. He had an experience there too. So
no, put that together, man. I'm in. So it's like I'll even carry Russell's backpack if I have to. So I'll do that. So
I'd like to know what Russell has in that backpack.
I know, styrofoam. Just making it look good.
He reminds me of MacGyver.
So yeah.
But much larger.
Yeah. So I have to. I'm gonna throw a few little spoilers out there from our trip. But one thing that was kind of weird, and it still kind of weirds me out, was the crows and ravens. And RJ and my experiences out there, that was weird. It's like, what was going on with that? Why? And what were they doing? And why were they watching us? And it's like I feel like
I'm lost. What are you talking about?
When Daniel and I went out,
all
the ravens followed us out there.
Yeah.
Well, it was interesting because, I mean, we all spend a lot of time outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
We grew up in Michigan. Well, most of us. Has anybody ever had a circle of ravens like that?
No.
I mean,
they felt like they were circled around us. Yeah.
All night.
Yeah.
And they were talking back and forth.
Yeah.
In a whole circle around us until you and RJ took that hike.
Yep.
To set a camera or something. That whole group of ravens followed you.
Yeah.
I hope you got that wing sound.
I hope so too. And that was the weird thing, because here we are and we're hearing this going over the top of us. We couldn't see them, but we could hear them like they were flying. It sounded like they were so close to us when they would fly by, but we couldn't see them. It's like we could just hear that sound, and it was so eerie. It sounded like, to me, it reminded me of like a cartoon boomerang, like on a cartoon show, like going around. It was wild, you know. But it was just, it struck me as just odd the way they followed us. Like why were they keeping an eye on us? Were they, are they in
were they
tune with it?
protecting you, or were they warning others?
Warning others that we were coming, or
I don't know, Deb. What do you think? I feel like it was protection.
Yeah.
I did, because they kept their circle around us.
Yeah.
And they were I've never heard ravens be so vocal.
Right.
Yeah.
Continuously. Like, letting you know we're here. And almost like they wanted us to know where every one of them were stationed.
Yeah.
Now, once in a while, we'd hear a crow or see a crow. But
right.
Remember how the one in the distance we could hear, and then all of a sudden they were right on top of us?
Well, remember we did the meditation, and that one came right in and went around us. You could hear him go around us as we were doing our meditation. Yeah. And it was like,
he liked the singing bowls.
Yeah. They seemed very interested in what we were doing. It's like, and I know they're smart birds, but they seemed very interested in what we were doing and why we were there. It was just
even the coyotes was different, because there was one over here, one way over here.
Yeah.
First time we went out, they were all together yipping, but they were all separate.
Wow.
They were all everywhere.
And that's like you almost have to question those sounds a little bit. Like, is that what we're hearing, or is that something mimicking?
I really think, we did hear coyotes.
Yes. Yeah.
But there was one single that was, I'm telling you, that was not a coyote.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was some sort of a wolf.
Yeah.
Coy wolf.
And then, of course, when Daniel did the call, and the call back was amazing.
Blew my freaking mind.
Did anybody besides me wet their pants?
I can remember like my mouth hanging open, because here I am out by the trees. And I did the first one. I didn't expect anything, because Beth had done a couple, and I'm like, I don't ever do this. I'm going to just do it. And I put my heart and soul into that. I really did.
Yeah,
I mean, I really reached in, and I really reached in, and I did the first one, and it was like so disappointing, because there's nothing, and you get that moment of excitement, but then when I did the second one, and it was like, and the response came back, I'm sure my mouth was just like that, because I'm just like, I didn't even think it was real. I didn't think it really happened.
I felt like I was in the moment, and my brain was trying to say, okay, was that a coyote? What was that?
Exactly. What was that?
It was trying to make it fit.
It wasn't a coyote,
and it didn't fit with anything but...
It sounded exactly what you did.
Yeah, it did.
He echoed it right back.
Right back.
And I'll tell you, you had the recorder on the table, and I don't forget what I said, but whatever I said, I hope it picked it up, because I was freaked out,
Yeah. So I told Stephanie, I'm trying to remember, was I running my camera at the time? I think I was, but I don't remember. So I've got to get in and check the footage. I think I was too, but I can remember putting my hand up to my mouth when I did the call. So I'm like, okay, so where was the camera at that point? I'm like, well, yeah, but it's like that camera's on you. Right. So yeah. So I don't know. So hopefully we got that. I'm sure we've got it on one of the recorders at the least, because we had at least the one recorder running.
Yeah. Well, if we heard it, the recorder picked it up on the table.
Recorder should have picked it up. Yeah.
Now I'll tell you another thing I was impressed
about.
If
it was working.
Yeah. I was impressed.
I honestly think that we have to do an overnighter there.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think we did enough. I think it was just a good preload to what we're going to do.
Yeah.
But I think it's not fair to nature, or it's not fair to Bigfoot to say, we're going, we expect this to happen within these hours.
On our time.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, on Expedition, they had interaction with their base camp when they set it up, and they weren't there. Like, they did have interaction with it.
Right.
So again, there's that curiosity factor. It's like, well, who are these idiots out here? I'm going to go check and see what they're doing, what they got. It's like, so, but I don't know.
Thing I was really impressed with was your imitation of the Ravens, Daniel. That was awesome.
I get a lot of talking in with them, because I talk to them whenever I run into them anywhere.
Yeah.
At work, we've had a couple that have been hanging around the store. And so when I go in the morning through the parking lot, they'll kind of like talk at me, and I talk back at them. just 2 days ago, I got there, and the one of them flew up on the roof of the store. And just the whole time I'm walking there, he's just doing his whole head shaking thing at me, and he was talking at me. And so I just talk back to him. I imitate him back, and it's like they kind of cock their head, like, "Whoa, this guy's talking back to us." It's like, what's this all about? So I don't know what I'm saying to him, but it's like, I'm throwing it out there. So, but
yeah, that was really good. I was really impressed. Really impressed.
Yeah. So imitating nature. I'm part Squatch. That's it. So
yeah, so that was great, and I'm looking forward to coming on the haunted communion.
Yes, and it's a lot. It's a lot of work yet, but we'll get there. So maybe we can do another like follow up or something when we get there and get that stuff all out and exposed and stuff.
Yeah. So if anytime you want to set that up, we just do overnight.
Right.
Open to it, and we can do that. And it just has to be. We can just show up Saturday morning and leave Sunday or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm willing to spend all night as long as someone's watching my dogs.
Yeah.
I think we can.
Well, yeah, I mean we got people. We don't like leaving our dogs either, but we can do it, for one night and trust it. So
right, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that'll be cool. We have to go back definitely. We got responses. We found stuff. So
yeah, we found stuff. Yeah, there's.
Like Gary said,
we had enough
here for what? 6 hours?
Yeah. To come up with what we got out of that for that 6 hours or whatever, we got to go back. There's no.
And really, we learned so much. We learned a lot. So, being newbies at Bigfoot hunting, I think that we've learned a lot, and that was like the perfect amount of time to have that.
To get a feel for it. Yeah, I agree. So. I know whenever we leave, then I regret. I'm like, I should have stayed longer. And then I'm like, well, it's like next time. But, it's like I always feel like right after we left, they were probably out dancing in the field. And like, that's when they turn it loose. It's like, they left too soon. Brought all my friends.
Yeah, we should do it Friday maybe because, Stephanie, you got that thing going on Sunday, right?
Yeah, the farmer's market.
Do it Friday, and
you don't have it on Saturday. You just have it Sunday.
No, just on Sundays. Yeah.
Yeah, we could do a Friday night. That would be doable. So, it would be nice.
So just to touch on before we're done here, we didn't talk about all the evidence of tree crossings and
tree structure.
We didn't touch on that, so I think we should touch on that.
The one that I thought was most interesting was the one that Russ saw that looked like a little doorway or gateway or whatever. That he was intimidated by that. He didn't want anything to do with that. He was like, "Whoa, that's too weird." And I can't imagine finding something like that in the woods. That was just strange because it looked woven and it was weird, and I was like, that was strange.
Yeah, well, that one that was set. Absolutely,
the tall one, the straight one,
X
with the X
in it. Couple of those.
X,
and they found that everywhere they went, right?
Yeah.
Was that? Do you guys feel like that was a warning to stay away, or was that kind of a sign we're here?
My feelings are that that's kind of how they mark their territory.
Right.
I didn't want you to go beyond.
No, I think they communicate with each other doing that stuff.
Oh.
Like this place is a place that we do this. This is a place where we do that. You know, understand? It was in the first show, I think, or the second show. I can't remember where they found that a lot of them there. And they were talking about they take their young ones to the creek off to the side. It was kind of pointing that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they're talking about that. So I think it's just different ways to communicate. And Native Americans do that too. Right. Yep.
Just like the petroglyphs and
Yep.
Not the trees to mark a trail. It's not really that dissimilar. I guess in the long run, it's like, if that was your environment where you lived, and you wanted to communicate with others of your tribe or whatever group of Sasquatches are, yeah, I could see them leaving something like that. So
what do you think the teepees are about? Is it like they stay there, or is it like a sign?
Yeah, it's hard to say, I guess.
I'm getting like it's maybe where they gather, because all these things are gathered together. Maybe that's where they gather or something.
Right.
You know, no doubt they could possibly have a religion of some sort. So this could be sacred spots for them, whether their religion is nature, natural, whatever. But, you know,
yeah, maybe it's their copper pyramid. They meditate.
Yeah,
under it.
exactly. It's yeah. So yeah, it's where they go to meet up. So
what did you think about the little teepee that we found towards the footprint? Was it like just natural fall?
I don't know.
I don't think it was. I think there was stuff placed in there.
Yeah, it looked like some of that had been placed. Yep. You know, the biggest drawback to that is you don't know, because obviously there were a lot of hunters. There were deer blinds and stuff. Yeah. So we don't know for sure if the, you know, man-made or not, but still interesting no matter how we look at it.
And they have Vision Quest out there too, where people build stuff.
So people might have done that.
Yeah. She did say she had some ceremonies out there and stuff.
Yeah.
So we really should, you know, probably touch base with her a little more on that. Or
right.
You know, I'm not debunking it, but I'd like to, you know, check it a little more on it or whatever. Yeah.
But as far as it being put together naturally, no, I think it was put together with hands.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it was done by something. I would really like to find out whether she
something with thumbs.
As we said, you know, we know that she does ceremony out there and stuff. So, you know, did you have somebody out there at this point or whatever?
Yeah.
Primate them.
Yeah. So anybody got any last things? We've almost gone 2 hours.
Okay.
So I want anybody who feels like they want to say something to be able to talk about it.
I made us some stickers.
Yay!
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
I don't know if you can see it real well on there because it's white.
It's very cool. What's it say? I can't read what it says.
It says Sasquatch Research Team MAPIT 2022.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Love it.
So, yeah, so that's a thing that's going on. So very cool.
So we'll add them to our other stickers.
Yeah.
And what?
And this
we'll add them to our other stickers too that we got on the car.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And this is on YouTube. So let's do a promotion for what we're doing. Let's start with Deb and RJ. Talk about Mystical Awakenings and what you offer there.
Okay, well, we do have Mystical Awakenings. It's a little metaphysical store in the middle of Houghton Lake, Michigan. We have crystals and incense and candles and all kinds of cool metaphysical stuff. We do healings and readings and classes.
Where Beth and Barry will be appearing on July the 2nd.
Yes. On July 2nd, we're having a little psychic fair out here. We have a food truck and vendors, and Beth and Barry will be here doing readings, and maybe Stephanie will come down and bring her cool stuff. And
Danny won't be there. I'm sorry, but 4th of July weekend I can't.
I
can't
it's
depart.
crazy.
But Steph might be able to make it down, so that'd be cool. So
right.
But
and in September we always put on the Michigan UFO Contact, and that's in Houghton Lake as well at the Lakeside Resort, September 23rd and 24th.
Yep.
Yeah. We have some great speakers.
Cool lineup,
Yeah, the lineup is fantastic.
I'm looking forward to it.
So you can find all the info on miufocon.com or look us up on Facebook.
And Daniel and Steph, let's talk more about
we don't do anything.
A diary.
We don't do anything. So
please.
Anyway, we've been working really hard on My Haunted Diary Communion, which is our YouTube channel. We also post all of our YouTube stuff to our MAPIT page, Michigan Area Paranormal Investigative Team. So both of those are YouTube channels. You can go to both of them and see our videos. And basically, we just kind of, things have evolved over the years. And it was like, and so many people want to experience like what we experience. And yet they can't really, it's like it's hard. A lot of people are never going to go out and try to experience it. So if vicariously they can hang out with us through YouTube and see what we do and stuff, all of our stuff is 100% legit. You'll see me mention on there sometimes. It's like, I can't say that this is paranormal, but I can't explain it either. We don't. If you watch YouTube channels, there's a lot of fakery out there. There's a lot of BS out there. Sometimes I love to watch it because I just like that. But we're 100% legit. And anybody that goes over there, feel free to subscribe, hit those like buttons and stuff, and keep the channel growing because we're trying to get into bigger and better and more amazing places. Just earlier, I did a little promo piece because not only do we have our Sasquatch adventure coming up, but we went to Indiana State Sanitarium in Indiana, Beth and Barry and Steph and I. And that was an absolutely amazing journey. And that's going to be a great video because I do at one point drop more F-bombs than I probably have through the entire series.
I'll say why, yeah.
Because it gets spooky. So
Spooky.
So we've got the
Especially
Bigfoot
for
stuff
Steph.
going on. We also visited places like Prophet's Rock and the Tippecanoe Battlefield. So we've got stuff with those. The variety,
Off of my
again,
bucket list.
yeah, we're not. We don't limit it to just the paranormal, ghost hunting or whatever. So we're doing everything. So so pop over there and check that out and follow our Facebook pages. Especially the Michigan Area Paranormal page, and we put all the updates and stuff there. So also for these kind of events that we like to do, the live talks and stuff. So,
and Beth and Barry, what do you got going on?
So anything spiritual, you're going to want to look on Mystical Awakenings or Voices of the Elders. But we are starting a StreamYard for our travel channel where we talk about our travels that we've done in a year, and we've been really bad about that and haven't.
You've done some great ones.
We paid for it.
And this weekend, we will be
this weekend is going to be so much fun
at the Christmas Story Ralphie
oh yeah,
house, spending the night
Spending
in
the night,
the Christmas
baby.
Story house.
you better film some of that for me.
And we're going to eat red cabbage and eat like a little piggy on the
Mashed
potatoes and have Lifebuoy soap. My uncle
Nice.
was lucky enough to give that gifted to him as a present for Christmas from his daughter. And they invited us to come and spend the night at the Christmas Story house in Cleveland, Ohio. So we will be doing some video from there. And interesting enough, we're going to do an Echo Vox
session,
just because
the residual to see if we pick anything up.
like Daniel has proven that legends, even legends if they're not true, can leave a mark on the energy. So we're interested to see if people coming through there are thinking it's really Ralphie's house and that Christmas
Right.
if there's some kind of residue there that we can pick up that has made it real, even though it wasn't real. Okay.
Right.
Or left an impression at least.
Left some kind of impression in there.
Yeah. So
That'll
be cool.
kind of a cool experiment we're going to be doing. So, yeah. So, are you guys excited for Alaska?
Yes, so excited.
How? When are we going?
Already. I can't.
Well, if they would invite us from this video,
yes, please invite us.
Yeah.
We would be
That
glad
would
to
be
come
awesome.
up even for a week.
Yeah. But we will be seeing.
Do I have to
Russell.
fly? I can't fly.
We'll see Russell and Bonnie at Michigan Paracon in Sault Ste. Marie in August because they're working that one too.
Deb, I did not hear you. Say it again, please.
I said we will see Russell and Ronnie at Michigan Paracon in Sault Ste. Marie
Really?
in August. Yes.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Right. Yeah. I'm totally addicted. And you guys know I don't do TV. I don't like
Yeah.
TV.
Deb and I and RJ and Barry and Daniel and Steph, we're not really
She had to
fangirls.
look and read our
But
names.
I may be a fangirl for this one. I don't know.
She
We'll
could not
see.
remember our names. She had to look and read our names off.
I did not.
Yes,
What'd
you
I say?
did. I saw
And
it. You're like Beth
Stephanie
and Barry
and
and Deb and RJ, and then you look down at our part of the screen to read our names because you couldn't remember who we were. You fall down a lot, don't you?
Hey, Steph, I have another giraffe that I forgot to give you somehow.
Okay.
Yeah.
a draft beer.
No, one of her giraffes, the daddy must have got missing. So
Well, that's fitting. Father's Day started like my worst 5 weeks of the year every year because within 5 weeks I have Father's Day, my dad's birthday, and my dad's death day. So that's funny.
well,
that
I don't know which
dad
giraffe
one that
it
was
is. You'll have
on.
to decide. But I went up there to get some stuff out of my cupboard, and I'm like, "Here's another giraffe."
They're just
Where did they come
reproducing.
from?
Yeah.
And it had to fall out of that bag, so that was
Yeah.
weird. You know. So anyway, nobody else knows what we're talking about, but okay.
Well, here's to our next expedition.
All right.
I can't wait.
Here's to Alaska.
Expedition MAPIT.
Expedition Map.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. So we love you guys.
yes,
I'm so
yes.
happy to be a part of MAPIT.
Travel Channel, History Channel, whoever's out there, we are available to travel if you'll be, willing to pay our expenses.
Skinwalker Ranch.
We're there,
Skinwalker Ranch.
And we are
Ranch.
We will work cheap.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
expensive and,
We work dirt cheap. We will actually. I can cook really good, so I'll cook for you. Okay.
We will
so,
camp on property.
yeah.
It won't cost you anything.
other than travel expenses to get there and maybe a little for food and dining, but
Oh hell, we would pay them. Come on.
so we're happy. But
Yeah.
you're looking for some other eyes on the subject. We would be happy to put our 2 cents worth in.
Yeah. Yep. There you go.
Yeah. Miss everyone. Take care. God bless. From Norm.
Yep.
Norm,
We miss you guys.
Michelle, we love you.
Everybody that
Wow.
tuned in tonight, thank you so much for joining us on our adventures here.
appreciate it.
And
Yeah.
Keep it real spooky. Ho, ho, ho.
Real spooky.
I'm sure at the end of Skinwalker Ranch, we might do a episode.
Heck yeah. All right.
All
I'm in.
right.
All right, love you guys.
Alright.
Good night, everybody. We love you.
guys.
Bye.
Guys.
Oh, look.
Talk to you
Woo. Okay. What did I do? I did
I
something.
don't know what to do.
I can't find my clothes now.
Really?
And broadcast.
I mean, not my clothes.
There.
There. And broadcast. Good night, everybody.
Night.